The way you prioritize your experiments may be affecting how quickly and how efficiently you execute on your optimization program. Hey, this is Manuel da Costa, founder of Effective Experiments, and you're watching the Effective Experiments Shorts. In this series, I share strategies, tactics, and learnings about how to structure your optimization program, your teams, and become super productive in running efficient and effective experimentation programs. In this video, I want to share with you how to prioritize your experiments for maximum impact. Now, if you don't already prioritize your experiments, you definitely should. After all, how will you know what experiments should run next from the backlog of ideas that you've collected? You need a structured manner in knowing which idea is worth testing and which should be delayed for later. Now, there are quite a few prioritization frameworks out there that have been used by companies. The most common framework for prioritizing experiments is the PI framework, developed by Chris Goward and his team at Wider Funnel. PI stands for potential, importance, and ease. These are three variables in the prioritization framework where a user would go and score each variable between a range of 0 and 10, 0 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. The most common variant of the PI model is the ICE model, which is used a lot by the growth hacking community. It was developed by Sean Ellis from Growth Hackers. The ICE model stands for importance, confidence, and ease. Again, these three variables are scored on a range between 0 and 10. The pros of using the PI and the ICE framework are that they're really easy to get started. The scoring system is simple. Pick a number between 0 and 10 for each of the variables, and you've got your PI score or your ICE score. The cons are just that it's too easy, and also this scoring system is really subjective. It's open to interpretation. Now, I understand that the scores of 0 and 10 are fairly self-explanatory. 0 is really low or really hard, and 10 is really high or really easy. They're easy to differentiate. But once you start getting numbers between 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, it's really hard to figure out what value each of those numbers have in the scoring range. And this is where a system like PI or ICE falls apart. Worse still, if you're using PI or ICE to work out your development schedule, that becomes really hard to plan out, because if you are scoring experiments between 5 and 6 or 7 and 8, depending on their development complexity, you will run into problems with your developers because you won't know where your experiment or your idea slots in to their development schedule. So is there a more efficient way of prioritizing your experiments? I want to introduce you to PXL. PXL is a framework that was developed by PepLaya and the CXL team. It's a more efficient framework because it uses objective question and answers to understand what the real priority of that experiment idea is. Instead of using ranges between 0 and 10, it's now replaced with questions where the answers are given weighted scores. For example, one of the questions in the PXL model is it above the fold? The answers are yes or no. There's really no way to go wrong with that. If you're sitting with the team and you know that it's above the fold, everyone answers yes. Has this idea come from a source such as user testing or analytics or heat maps? Yes, no. There's only one way around it. When it comes to the development of these experiment ideas, the weighting gets even more detailed. How long does it take to develop this experiment? More than a day? Less than a day? 5 hours? Less than 2 hours? And each of these are given scores. Now, you and your development team can work out how long this experiment will take to develop. It's simple. A common scenario that experimentation teams face is the lack of development resources, because developers are shared in that company, and they may not have dedicated resources to launch experiments. So they have small windows of opportunity. Now go back to your PXL model. If you have prioritized your experiments properly and weighted them along how long it'll take to develop, you can ask your development team, I know you're short on time. How much time do you have? If they come back to you and say maybe 2 hours, maybe 5 hours, you can reprioritize your list to find experiments that can be developed in 2 hours or can be developed in 5 hours. And now you can slot that experiment in their development schedule. This way, it's more efficient. You're getting experiments launched based on the real priority, and it's dynamic based on the changing needs within the company. So, go ahead, try using the PXL model. Now don't just stop there. The PXL model is a good framework to go off, to start using. But if you want to start implementing your own framework, use that as a base and add questions to it which are unique to your company and your organization. That's the real value of a prioritization framework. Pie and Ice will get you started for sure, but they will cause a lot of problems further down the line. Using an objective prioritization framework like the PXL model or an offshoot that you create custom based on the PXL model will get you a lot more results in the long run. Thanks for watching this Effective Experiments short. This is Manuel da Costa from Effective Experiments. If you want to learn more about Effective Experiments, visit our website, effectiveexperiments.com.